Otis Funkmeyer, Tick Tick Pop, what's up? So, recording the Rashad and Future video yesterday made me start thinking about like unsung heroes, because I've definitely been getting some comments that it's like, dude, you're always doing Green Tech and Salah and Hoan and Hosen, etc. Slim Boogie, Kite, Pop and J. And, you know, what about some other people? And up until now, I've been doing these, you know, just like whatever you guys vote on. But you got to switch it up sometimes. So another unsung hero in my mind is Popula, who there was a period of time where he got a lot of shine, probably in like the mid 2000s. And the reason that he's probably lesser known now than before is he's not putting himself out there in the same way that he was. But it makes me think that probably a lot of you that are somewhat newer to popping don't even know who he is. And this was a guy who just came out of nowhere, sort of from Indiana, and in a certain way discovered by J-Rock and became like a monster. And we first met at the first popping event I really ever went to, B-Boy Summit 2002, which was my first time in LA. And I went there with my teacher Fawn, and I met Popula and J-Rock there. And he just got doper and doper. And I've always really been a huge fan of his, first and foremost because on top of his skills, the way that he battles and the way that he dances creates such a vibe of like people going off, because he's very supportive and encouraging. And even if he's battling someone, he gets them like, yeah, that was dope, that was ill, because he feeds off of that, off of people doing good. And so he's a real role model to me in that way. And not just to me, I think he's like a role model, period. So with that said, this is a judge showcase he did in 2010. And it was one of the first times I saw the level of beat freaking that is now almost like normal among the elite level dancers. And I really love this video, and I have revisited it many, many times over the years, and I would love to share it with you now. All right, let's do this. So this is Popula, Andre Kiner. So, I mean, what I notice is like this, you know, this is not a song, quote unquote, made for Boogaloo. And what's really dope is that he's taking the feeling of the sounds and dancing to the feeling of the sounds, as well as the rhythm of the sounds, which makes everything fit a lot. And I like this too, how he just, you know, okay, all right, that was the warm-up, let's do this. I feel like that's really something more people should do, is feel more comfortable on stage. I, more than anyone, should do that. And that feel, man, it's like, you know, Pop and J and Hoan are funky, but that right there, it's soul, bro. Slick Dog used to talk about Popula in that regard, that he had like the black soul or the black funk. I think soul is the word he would use. And there, another thing, not done enough, just demonstrating. Like, hear it? All right, now watch. Now that we're getting comfy, let's see where this goes. You know, most people just wouldn't freak that like that. Like Dragon House and all those kids, that man. Look at that neck roll. It has so much expression. Managed to like shake your head no and neck roll. You know what I see more? You know, because this is the first time I've watched Popula. Let's watch it again. It's short. This is the first time I've watched this since I've started doing these commentaries, which has definitely made me start looking at things a lot more closely. And what I see is just so much feeling, right? Just so much feeling. Like, even a lot of the ways the Koreans beat freak, it doesn't necessarily demonstrate the feeling of the sound, just the rhythm of the sound, which is already incredibly impressive. But that's what I'm seeing in Popula. It's almost like he's deeper into the song, because not only is he getting all of these tiny little crazy rhythms, but the feel like that walk right there, right? That's what that sounds like. Like the notes went dun dun dun. The notes went up in scale, right? And he walks forward up. You know, I don't. Obviously, none of this is conscious. You have to be like a big nerd like me to think like this, but it's happening. Like, that is what is happening, and so that's really special. And of course, you know, his technique is excellent. His rolls, his walkouts, his foundation. And you definitely have to give some credit to J-Rock, who I'm sure, as one of his main teachers, beat that into him. Of course, in Pop and Pete and all the boogaloos. Really requires a lot of presence and confidence to just kind of walk around like this, like I got this. And then even the way Brian Greene used to talk about this all the time, kind of like polyrhythms, right? So it's kind of like his head does the kick drum. It also just goes to show how little you can move and still rip it. And it's so tight too, just that happy accident of getting his thumb caught in the band. And then this, to me, that is where this became classic. Let's just be real clear. I was freaking out over all this when I saw it. And then this, that was where it was like, okay, this is legendary. And then what a perfect time to end it, right after that. Alright, we're gonna watch it one more time. Because hey, here we are. This is our lives. Shout out to Popula, man. And beat freaking right from the start, while remaining calm. That you know, that's a ill beat freak right there. And I have to reiterate that people dancing to this kind of music was pretty new in 2010. Especially at this like a b-boy event like this. And the level of musicality was, I hadn't seen much like this at that time. And I get, you know, I've said it already, but just to reiterate how dope this is to me. To be like, okay, all right, next. This is almost like round, it's like he came out of the circle. You know what, dude? I gotta learn this for myself. It's like, okay, there was round one in the circle. Boom, robot, pop, dime stop, out. Okay, all right. But it's a judge showcase, so I'm gonna go right back in the circle. Boom, new feel. And maintaining so much it's almost like you don't see people beat freak foundation like this, I feel like, that often. He's just in rolls, walkouts, crumping. And again, right? There's round 2. Now I'm round 3. Still, dude, it's really good showmanship. And it really goes along with his style, because here he is, he's a funky black guy, and the way he pauses has this like, the head. I actually think that's one of the things that makes him so funky. Waleed is like this too. The head. It's really easy for your head. We're gonna back up and take a look at this head. Okay, this is where it kind of starts with the head. J-Rock and I used to talk about this all the time, leading with the head. Because if your head isn't moving that much, it means you're thinking. And if your head is moving a lot, it means you can't think. You can test this for yourself. Just move your head a lot and you'll see you have trouble thinking. So the fact that he's moving his head so much is a huge part of what creates all of that groove. It could be that we have some like biological, psychological mechanism to notice head movements and to associate free head movements with someone being not in their head, being expressed. Because you definitely, to me, Waleed is like the master of that. And I notice it with Popula. Pop and Pete comes to mind. Guchan in a different way, a more controlled way. But these are all spazzers. Future, we saw that yesterday. Him with his head just spazzing. So think about that. Think about that. The fact that, you know, play with leading with your head. That's what we always, and watch footage of Waleed and you'll see from time to time he starts leading all of his movements with his head, which is dope and rare. And shout outs to J-Rock, who I think was the one who pointed that out to me. I don't think that's something I noticed myself. So Otis Funkmeyer, Tick Tick Pop. I like today. It's a little bit like, yeah, dude, I take this shit seriously. This dude is dope. You should know who he is. He should be getting hella shine. And I feel good, like James Brown. And I'm out.